You are standing inside 50 Hudson Yards, New York City. But you cannot see the sky. All you see is the cold blue glow of computer screens. Welcome to Level 1 Analyst. You think you are a financial expert. Wrong. You are a data janitor. Your job is simple. Clean the data. Fix the numbers. Feed the system. The system has a name, Aladdin. A massive AI engine analyzing risk for more than $14 trillion. That number is larger than the economies of Japan, Germany, and India combined. One tiny mistake in your data can throw the global risk machine off balance. Your days are long, 16 hours staring at spreadsheets, correcting numbers, fixing broken inputs. You work in silence. But deep down, you want more. You want to escape the raw data. You want to touch the real flow of money. Because inside BlackRock, there is a rule everyone learns. Data is the blood of the system, and you are just a tiny capillary. So the question is simple. Are you willing to trade 16 hours every single day for the chance to climb higher? Comment 1 if you would. Comment 0 if you would not. You have leveled up. Your badge now says Associate. Inside the firm, people whisper a strange nickname. Aladdin Ninja. You are no longer cleaning data. Now you begin to build reality. Using Monte Carlo simulations, you test millions of possible futures. Market crashes, interest rate shocks, currency wars. Entire financial systems breaking apart inside your models. Your privilege is vision. You see the hidden structure beneath global finance. The architecture that 99% of humanity will never understand. But the risk is something deeper, mental erosion. Because you are responsible for maintaining the single version of truth. Thousands of institutions depend on it. Pension funds, central banks, national reserves. If Aladdin stops even for a moment, global markets could fall into chaos. You are no longer just an engineer. You are a gatekeeper for a system too large to fail. But inside this realization, a new question appears. If you can simulate the future of markets, who decides how that future is used? Because somewhere above your level there are people who do not predict risk. They shape it. And that is where the real power begins. Welcome to the next level. Welcome to Level 3 Vice President. You leave the code screens behind. Now you enter the strategy rooms, quiet places where global decisions are quietly shaped. You are no longer facing spreadsheets. You are facing institutions. Central banks, national pension funds, sovereign wealth giants. Their portfolios are not millions. They are hundreds of billions. Your responsibility is strategy. Securities lending, liquidity flows, portfolio protection. Every move must be precise. Because the markets are no longer your only concern. Now another force enters the room. Mega forces, artificial intelligence, energy transition, demographic shifts. These forces are quietly reshaping the world economy, and your strategies must adapt before everyone else. Your privilege is invisible power. You influence decisions without appearing in headlines. But the price is brutal accountability. One wrong strategy could erase billions of dollars. Not from corporations, from retirement funds, from ordinary people. At this level, the line becomes dangerously thin. You are no longer just an employee. You are standing on the edge of something larger, the border between financial executive and someone who quietly shapes global policy. You think you understand the game now. Markets, clients, institutional capital. Hundreds of billions moving through quiet meetings. But then something strange happens. One afternoon, your calendar changes. A new meeting. Not a pension fund, not a bank, a government office. At first, you assume it is symbolic. Maybe policy advice. Maybe research. But when the meeting begins, The room falls silent because the question they ask you is not theoretical. They want to know how to stabilize an entire economy. Interest rates rising, debt markets shaking, investors losing confidence. And suddenly you realize something that no one ever told you. The people who regulate markets are asking for your models, your forecasts, your system. Because when crisis arrives, even governments need a map. And the map is built inside BlackRock. That moment changes everything. Because now you see the contradiction. The market is supposed to be independent. Governments are supposed to regulate it. But here inside this room, both sides are using the same machine. And the question that keeps echoing inside your mind is terrifying. If everyone depends on the same system, who controls the system itself? Welcome to Level 5, owner of the real world. Something fundamental has changed. BlackRock is no longer just numbers on a screen. After the $12 billion acquisition of global infrastructure partners, the machine steps into reality. Now you control real assets. Ports, energy networks, data centers, 43 ports across the planet. Dozens of global data hubs. Look out across the oceans. Every 20 containers moving through global trade, one passes through infrastructure under your management. Energy flows, shipping lanes, digital traffic. Entire continents depend on these networks. Your privilege is extraordinary. You can reshape the physical infrastructure of civilization. Transportation, energy, global logistics. But the cost is something darker. Suspicion, public anger. The world begins to notice. A single entity touching everything they depend on. Ports, pipelines, digital highways. And a question starts echoing through politics and media. Who actually owns the real economy? Because at this level, you are no longer just a financial strategist. You are a hidden landlord of the physical world. And now a harder question appears. Do you have the courage to carry the resentment of billions who will never know your name? Welcome to Level 6, the Oracle. You now operate inside the BlackRock Investment Institute. This is not a trading desk. This is a prediction chamber. Here you do not forecast stock prices. You forecast the future of nations. Geopolitical risk, energy conflicts, trade wars. Your dashboard tracks instability across the planet. Red zones appear on the map. Middle East tensions, European debt stress, Asian supply chains. Around you sit former diplomats, former strategists. Some once advised the President of the United States. Your privilege is dangerous knowledge. You may know which conflict could erupt next, which alliance could collapse, which country could lose investor confidence. You walk a narrow wire between superpowers. Washington, Beijing. Every report you publish can move capital across continents. Billions of dollars can leave a country in a single afternoon. At this level, finance becomes a weapon, and information becomes the trigger. But the risk is enormous, because once you see this much, you become visible to everyone. Governments, regulators, intelligence agencies, all watching. So the question at this level is no longer simple. Are you ready to play a game once reserved for gods? Welcome to Level 7, the board. 19 individuals sit here. 19 seats at the summit of the machine. Their influence reaches across entire industries. Energy empires, telecommunications giants, global technology firms. Some once led Fortune 500 companies. From Saudi Aramco to Verizon to Cisco. These are not ordinary executives. They are architects of corporate power. They do not run daily operations. They approve destinies, multi-billion-dollar acquisitions, leadership succession, strategic alliances across industries. A single vote inside this room can redirect entire markets. But something deeper happens here. Connections form, networks merge. BlackRock links itself to the highest circle of modern capitalism. This room is not just governance. It is a club. Money is only the entry requirement. Influence is the real currency. The privilege is extraordinary, a form of business immortality, but the risk is constant scrutiny. Every decision is examined. Regulators watch closely, especially one name that echoes through the halls of global finance, the SEC. At this level, every signature can reshape the future of industries, and every move is recorded by the most powerful watchdogs in the world. Level 8, the Chief Architect. At this level, there is only one seat. The position belongs to Larry Fink. He does not simply run a company. He shapes how the world does business. Every year, he writes a letter, a message sent to CEOs across the planet. Inside boardrooms, those words are studied carefully. Some call it the playbook of modern capitalism. Others call it the Bible of corporate power. His influence was not born from success. Early in his career, a single trade lost $90 million. That failure became an obsession. Risk. Understanding it. Controlling it. Building systems to measure it. From that lesson, he built an empire. $14 trillion flowing through the firm. Today he sits at the same tables as presidents, prime ministers, central bankers. They discuss the future of economies, energy transitions, retirement systems, global markets. His privilege is extraordinary. He can redefine what success means for corporations around the world. But the pressure is enormous. Every sentence he speaks can move markets. Every opinion can trigger billions in capital to shift direction. At this level, you finally realize something unsettling. He is the only person who sees the entire maze, the full architecture of this system. And that knowledge comes with a weight almost impossible to carry. But wait, stop for a moment. Because here comes the twist. You climbed the entire tower. You saw the terrifying power of $14 trillion. The analysts, the engineers, the executives, the board, all the way to the architect at the very top. It looks like absolute control. But the truth is far more brutal. BlackRock does not own a single dollar of that money. Not one. Those $14 trillion belong to ordinary people. Teachers, factory workers, office employees, retirement funds, pension savings, parents saving for their children. The entire empire exists for one reason: trust, fiduciary trust. BlackRock does not control the world's money. It is entrusted to manage it, and that distinction changes everything. Because if that trust ever disappears, the entire empire collapses. Instantly, $14 trillion would vanish from their control in a heartbeat. Which means the final truth of this system is deeply ironic. BlackRock is not the owner of the world. It is a caretaker, a steward trapped inside the expectations of humanity. And that responsibility may be heavier than owning the money itself. The journey through every level of BlackRock reveals one powerful lesson. The greatest power is not owning money. It is managing risk for the lives of millions. So ask yourself an honest question. Why do you want to climb this tower? To dominate? Or to protect? Because the real wealth of an empire is not its balance sheet. It is trust. The trust of millions of people who place their future in the system. Retirement savings, family security, a lifetime of hard work. Do not let trillions of dollars blind your judgment. Instead, learn something deeper. Become a person others can trust at your own level. Because that is the foundation of every great system. If you understand the value of fiduciary trust, comment trust. And if you want to continue collecting the hidden knowledge behind systems of power, Subscribe. There are still many architectures of influence you have not seen. And I will see you at the next level.